You probably think you have a pretty good handle on your own body, right? You've got your heart, your lungs, your brain. But what if I told you there's another powerful, super influential organ inside you that you've probably never, ever thought of as an organ?
Get this. Fat is your most dangerous organ. Yes, an organ. Just let that sink in for a second. That one sentence completely flips the script on how we think about body fat. It's not just some useless, dead weight. It's an active, biological player in your system.
For so long, the story about excess fat has been all about shame, right? A simple sign of laziness or gluttony. But the science tells a totally different story. Today, we're going to look at what body fat really is, a powerful, hormone-producing organ that when it gets overwhelmed can actually turn against you.
Okay, so let's dive right in. What does it even mean for fat to be an organ? And why is it so dangerous?
Well, here's the absolute key to understanding this whole thing. Fat is an endocrine organ. That means it's a hormone factory. It's constantly producing and sending out chemical messengers that run your entire body. Your fat tissue is in a constant conversation with your brain, your liver, your immune system. It's basically mission control for your metabolism. Now, let's be super clear about something. We need body fat. It's absolutely essential. Too little of it can cause all sorts of problems. So, fat itself isn't the villain here. The real problem is what happens when this crucial organ gets pushed way past its limits and starts to malfunction.
And to really get how things can go so wrong, you have to know that not all fat is created equal. Nope, not by a long shot. There are two very, very different types.
So, on one hand, you've got subcutaneous fat. That's the soft, pinchable layer right under your skin. It's there for insulation and energy storage. But then, there's visceral fat. This is the stuff that's packed deep inside your abdomen, wrapped around your vital organs like your liver and your intestines. And this is where the trouble really begins.
You see, visceral fat isn't just sitting there. It's incredibly active. It's super sensitive to stress hormones like cortisol, so when you're stressed, it just dumps fatty acids right into your bloodstream. It's in this constant, chaotic hormonal dialogue with the rest of your body, and this explains exactly why carrying weight around your middle, that classic apple shape, is so much riskier than carrying it on your hips and thighs.
So, when this visceral fat becomes excessive, it doesn't just sit there quietly. It basically declares war on your own body.
Think about this quote. Your fat is basically a wounded organ leaking stress and poison into your system. It's so vivid, right? This overstressed, overworked organ starts to break down, and that triggers a really catastrophic chain reaction.
So, here's how that disaster unfolds. First, the fat cells swell up so much that they actually cut off their own oxygen supply. They literally start to suffocate and die. This sends out a massive SOS to your immune system, which sends in these cleanup crews. But because the cells keep dying, the cleanup crews never leave. They get stuck there on permanent high alert.
And the scale of this invasion, it is just staggering. In lean, healthy tissue, immune cells make up maybe 5% of the total cells. But in obese tissue, that number can skyrocket to 40%. 40%! Your own fat literally becomes a battleground.
This creates a state of constant, low-level inflammation. It means your own immune system, trying to do its job, ends up causing collateral damage throughout your entire body. It's like being under friendly fire 24/7.
And the fallout from this friendly fire is devastating. The inflammation damages the delicate lining of your blood vessels. That leads to plaque buildup, higher blood pressure, and a massively increased risk for the things that kill most of us, heart attacks and strokes.
But the siege doesn't stop there. The next system to fall is the one your fat organ is supposed to be running in the first place, your hormonal communication network.
So all this internal chaos is happening, but how does it actually affect the way you feel and function every single day? Well, let's look at two huge examples.
First up, leptin. This is the hormone your fat cells release to tell your brain, hey, we're full, you can stop eating now. But in that state of chronic inflammation, your brain basically becomes deaf to the signal. Your fat is screaming that you've got plenty of energy stored, but your brain can't hear a thing, leaving you feeling ravenously hungry all the time. Your internal thermostat is just broken.
Next up is insulin. Now think of insulin as the dinner bell for your cells. When you eat, your pancreas releases insulin, which shouts, "Dinner's ready," to all your cells, telling them to open their doors and let sugar in from your blood for energy.
But just like with leptin, your cells start to ignore the dinner bell. They become insulin resistant.
So your pancreas has to scream louder, pumping out more and more insulin just to get the message through. And this works, for a while. But eventually, the poor cells in your pancreas get so exhausted from all the screaming that they just give up.
When that system finally fails, the result is type 2 diabetes. And this is no small thing. On average, it shaves an entire decade off a person's life, 10 years.
The consequences are just systemic. All that excess sugar in your blood acts like tiny shards of glass, slowly shredding everything it touches, your blood vessels, your nerves, your organs. It tanks your immune system and puts you at a much higher risk for nearly every other major disease out there, from cancer to kidney failure.
Now, all of that sounds incredibly bleak. I get it. But listen up, because this next part is the single most important piece of this entire story.
This is not a one-way street. When you start to lose that excess visceral fat, the fat cells shrink. They stop being so stressed out. The immune system gets the signal to stand down, the inflammation subsides, and that friendly fire finally stops. Your body can, and absolutely does, begin to heal itself.
The symptoms of having too much visceral fat, the inflammation, the hormone resistance, they're not a moral failing. They are a biological signal. It's your body, it's your most dangerous organ, telling you loud and clear that it's under too much stress and the whole system is breaking down. The only question is, are you ready to listen?